Hey guys, so welcome to the last component of the Hard Knocks course. It's been a long 6-month journey over because we've had a few delays due to COVID lockdowns and so forth along the way, but I really appreciate you guys sticking it out, putting in the work, and the results have come. If you can sit here and see a different dog to the dog that you walked in with at the start of the course, then the job is done. As I've said, the course is not to be taken as a be-all and end-all in your training. Training is forever, and the dog has now got a solid foundation and understanding of the behaviours that you need it to have to be a great and valuable member of your families. But more importantly, you guys understand the tools and the principles and methods that we have in dog training to be able to teach behaviours. So moving forward, if there is anything that you do want to teach your dog, you should have an understanding of how to break down behaviours into the different steps like we have in each block of the course, using different reinforcement methods or different communication tools to be able to get the best out of your dog. Anyway, moving on to the walk. This is what this week or this block is all about. So the walk is what I consider probably the most important behaviour, and that's why I left it till last, because I wanted everyone to have as much practice with other stuff as possible, because it's probably the most used behaviour that you're going to use with your dog, because everyone loves taking their dogs out for walks, and there's nothing more annoying than taking a dog out for a walk when they are annoying to walk. And you probably all experienced that because I've all told you to not even worry about the walk until we get to this component. So the block is really about building a social walk for the dog, right? So there's not too much criteria I put into that. However, the steps that we take to build the behaviour are still going to be the same as if I was building a high obedience skill, a high level obedience skill. The only difference is the positioning of the dog, the finishing position in each stage that we teach. So if you wanted to go and do a high level heel or a fuss, if you're going to work in IGP or something of the like, a dog sport, then it's just going to be a difference of how you pay the dog. And I'm going to make and put videos out to show you all the different ways. I've got Arco and I've got Tira, so I'm going to show you with a green dog that's not started this behaviour and move up to an experienced dog with the walk. So as I always tell people, always think about what you want the end result of your walk to look like. If you want it to be flashy and prancy, then build it like that. If you want it to be casual and relaxed and you don't really care, then just teach the dog about what is expected on that behaviour. You can do both, right? Because the naming of it at the end just comes into either a close for a general socialised walk, or you can have your heel pattern. So don't think it's one or the other, but just pick one to work on this block so that it's not too confusing. And I'd probably recommend everyone to start with a generalised social walk, because the criteria is less and it's a little bit easier for you to grasp. And then later we can work on more of a sporting or working application. So the components that I've broken down this block into is week 1, we're going to be looking at the basic position, right? The basic position is getting the dog into the position that we call a close or a heel or whatever you want to name it. And believe it or not, we have to teach the dog each component individually. It's not, I'm going to get the dog into the position and just start walking and then start doing turns and all that sort of stuff. We break it down to really clearly indicate to the dog what's expected in each situation. So basic position is first. Then we're going to be looking at the walking in position. You wouldn't think so, but yes, we have to teach and show the dog how we want them to walk next to us. We don't just walk and hope for the best, right? And then the last position is turning. Right, because the dog needs to learn how to turn right, needs to learn how to turn left. When it turns right, it's easy because you peel off. The dog has to learn to follow you when you peel off. But when you turn left, you have to walk into the dog's path. So it has to be aware of you and kind of back up and get out of your way. So we're going to build all of that. And as we have with each of the blocks so far, we're always going to start with motor skills. After the motor skill is learnt and there's some reward history in doing the behaviour, we're going to move to some leash communication. Once we can see that the dog is working off that leash communication, then we can label the behaviour, because we've faded the lure which was the help to elicit the behaviour to start with. We've then got the dog working without the lure through some leash communication, and now that the behaviour is pretty much built, we can just label it with whatever command or cue you want to give to the dog. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get out Arco first and then Tira in each of the steps of the basic position to be able to show you how we'd go about building that. All right, thanks guys.